This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Missy Kohler. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson. News 25 is also brought to you by Silver State Health, Pahrumps exclusive pediatric care clinic. Call 775-505-1214 for an appointment.
Welcome, I'm Deanna O'Donnell, and this is News 25.
Hi, I'm Missy Kohler. Today is March 31st. Thanks for joining us.
Well, the state is preparing for the transition to the 988 Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The Federal Communications Commission adopted rules to establish 988 as a new nationwide three-digit phone number for Americans in crisis to connect with suicide prevention and mental health crisis counselors. The rules require phone service providers to direct all 988 calls to the existing National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by July 16th of 2022. To ensure that calls to 988 reach the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, certain parts of the country will need to transition to a 10-digit dialing code.
What does that mean for the consumer? Well, it will be a new dialing procedure for areas of the country that use 7-digit dialing and use 988 as the first three numbers in 7-digit phone numbers. To complete all local non-mobile calls, consumers will need to dial their area code plus telephone number. This applies to all calls within the area codes that are currently dialed with the 7 digits and have 988 as the first 3 digits.
And that includes us here in Nye County. And that's who will be affected by this change. Anyone with a telephone number in certain area codes will need to change from a 7-digit local dialing to a 10-digit local dialing. And that's right here in Nye County. However, mobile callers will be unaffected as mobile calls already require 10-digit dialing.
The change will begin on April 24th, 2021. You should begin dialing 10 digits, that's the area code and the telephone number, for all local non-mobile calls. If you forget and dial just 7 digits, your call will still be completed. Beginning October 24th, 2021, you must dial 10 digits, area code and telephone number, for all local calls. On and after this date, local calls dialed with only 7 digits may not be completed, and a recording will inform you that your call cannot be completed as dialed. You must hang up and dial again using the area code and the 7-digit number. Beginning July 16th, 2022, dialing 988 will route your call to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. During the transition to 988, Americans who need help should continue to contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by calling 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK, and through online chats. Veterans and service members may reach the Veterans Crisis Line by pressing 1 after dialing, chatting online at www.veteranscrisisline.net, or texting 838-255.
Well, 60-year-old John Schultz is still reportedly missing. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said that he was last seen at approximately 5 a.m. on March 8th in the area of Blue Diamond Fort Apache in Las Vegas. Schultz is described as 5 foot 8 inches tall, a Caucasian male with brown hair and blue eyes that weighs 175 pounds. He was last seen a Coors Light baseball cap, a black jacket, blue jeans, and gray Sperry shoes. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to contact the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at 702-828-3111 or the missing persons detail during business hours at 702-828-2907. And you can also see his picture on our local Pahrump Facebook page.
There were no injuries last night at a 2-vehicle accident here in Pahrump.
All occupants declined to be transported from a 2-vehicle crash that occurred on Calvada Boulevard and Blagg Road. A deputy with the Nye County Sheriff's Office witnessed the crash while on a traffic stop in the area. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded to the scene, as well as Nye County Sheriff's Office auxiliary units who conducted traffic control and helped remove the debris from the roadway. 1 airbag was deployed during the crash, according to the deputy on scene. Both vehicles sustained moderate damage.
We'll be right back after this break.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Well, welcome back. President Biden unveils his $2 trillion infrastructure plan. PayPal is accepting cryptocurrencies, and Apple prepares to showcase its latest products.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief. Topping our news, President Biden details his more than $3 trillion plan to improve roads, bridges, and rails in America today in Pittsburgh. White House officials say they would like to see that legislation passed by Memorial Day. Republicans, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, are concerned about where that money will come from. McConnell does not want higher taxes on businesses or on people. PayPal is accepting cryptocurrencies. Consumers will be able to use Bitcoin and other digital money to pay for items purchased online around the world. Apple says save the date of June 7th. That's the day of its Worldwide Developers Conference, where the tech giant tends to release a new lineup of iPhones, Macs, watches, and software.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstam.com.
The Nevada Department of Motor Vehicles is cracking down on illegal activity. Compliance Enforcement Division officers are targeting motor vehicle businesses who defraud the public. And one of their latest investigations has landed 3 Las Vegas men behind bars.
Youssef Hamadeh, Suleiman Shabaki, and Eric Brambilla have been booked into the Clark County Detention Center on a number of felony charges, including obtaining money under false pretenses and furnishing falsified title documentation to the Department of Motor Vehicles. DMV investigators say all 3 men were involved in illegal lien sales of 5 vehicles with a combined value of more than $328,000. Authorities say Shabaki and Brambilla allegedly falsified work orders for repairs, then illegally sold the 5 vehicles to Hamadeh for profit. Chief of the DMV Compliance Enforcement Division, J.D. Decker, says falsifying title documents and fraudulently obtaining ownership of a vehicle through a lien sale is the same as stealing it. All 3 suspects could face prison terms of 1 to 20 years and steep fines if convicted of the most serious charges. In addition to the DMV's focus on fraud, officers are also targeting illegal street use of special dealer and repair shop plates and Nevada residents who illegally maintain out-of-state plates on their vehicles.
Thanks to Brad Francis for that report. Well, dozens of local residents now have something signed by Flash Gordon himself, or at least the actor who played the iconic character. Sam Jones appeared at Hypno Comics and Games here in the Pahrump on Saturday, where dozens of fans lined up and waited patiently for their turn to meet him.
Thank God for George and everybody here for opening up the shop, bringing me in.
Yeah.
And now we're going to have a big dinner tonight, too. Yeah.
Today is our grand opening with Sam Jones, Flash Gordon, and he's here signing autographs, and we had a $1 parking lot sale. 5280 food truck is still here, and we've been cranking all day long. And I cannot thank everybody enough for the support. I mean, it's been like this all day. Thank you.
My mom's boyfriend's a pretty big fan, so I told him to come out today, and I know George, so I figured I'd come out and show my support for them opening back up today.
I grew up watching it with my dad, so I'm going to buy an autograph as an early Father's Day present.
I'm a huge fan of Stargate and Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
I'm any superhero, anything growing up, I watched it all. So this was like, yay!
One of Grandma's favorite movies. Yeah. I grew up watching it with my mom. It was actually one of my favorite movies growing up because it was a space adventure. It was not, it was fantasy.
You're so popular.
Well, yeah, but I do, it's also their opportunity to share their story with me. You heard some of that, when I was 8, when I was 9, I saw your movie. And it's really cool. A lot of people ask me, well, what have you done besides Flash Gordon? I said, a lot, but just Google my name or Google IMDb. That's the internet site that gives you the filmography.
You don't have to be a comic book guy. He crosses all of those lines. Like, you're either a Ted fan, a Flash Gordon fan, a Stargate fan. So that's why we like having him here, because he has appeal to mainstream. There's some like guests where they'll just sign, and if you go to a Star Trek convention, you'll see that. Not with him. You get quality time with Sam. Yeah. We'll be rolling out more events, trying to do a guest a month. We'll have gaming events coming up and some other fun stuff. So just follow us on social media or go to hypnocomics.com to keep up with us.
I'm a big fan now. Well, Hypno Comics and Games is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 to 6 at their new location, 720 East Street, across from the Pahrump Community Library.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Welcome back. For the second year in a row, organizers have been forced to cancel a popular long-distance foot race.
The annual Baker to Vegas Challenge Cup Relay Race will not be run this year. The Los Angeles Police Revolver and Athletic Club Board of Directors made the decision to cancel the race. The board says it tried to power through the challenges to try at almost any cost to continue, and even considered numerous options of a modified race, such as reducing the size and scope of the event. The Baker to Vegas Challenge Cup Relay Race requires a lot of support staff, including doctors, nurses, paramedics, and EMTs. And because those people and related resources are in short supply, the board, on the direction of lead medical staff from both sides of the California and Nevada border, decided it could not risk the safety of those involved. Organizers say despite the cancellation, they're already planning for the 2022 Baker to Vegas race.
It'll be back next year, really strong. Well, First Choice Pregnancy Center CEO Nancy Irwin says the center raised more than $1,000 during its annual dessert auction.
The annual dessert auction is a big fundraiser for First Choice Pregnancy Center in Pahrump. This year's event, held Saturday, March 13th, raised nearly $1,300. CEO Nancy Irwin says that money will be used to purchase and install an accordion room divider in their conference room. Irwin says that will enable the center to more effectively divide the room for classes, starting with parenting classes, which begin April 22nd. All types of delicious desserts were auctioned off during this year's event, which was held outside in the parking lot due to COVID restrictions. If you missed the auction but would still like to donate to First Choice Pregnancy Center, the easiest way to do so is by visiting their website at pregnancypahrump.com. In addition to monetary donations, which are always appreciated, Irwin tells News 25 the center can always use unscented baby wipes and size 5 diapers. For more information about donations or the services provided by First Choice Pregnancy Center, you can call them at 775-751-2229 or stop by. They're located at 1501 East Calvada Boulevard in Pahrump.
There's good news in the fight against COVID-19. Data released by Pfizer and BioNTech suggests that their vaccine is effective in children between the ages of 12 and 15.
It looks like the Pfizer vaccine for children and adolescents 12 to 15 years of age elicited excellent antibody responses. And it looks like in their trial, 100% of the children responded positively with good antibody responses to the vaccine.
The trial studied more than 2,000 adolescents. Some received the COVID-19 vaccine while others received a placebo. Results show none of the vaccine recipients contracted coronavirus. The data also shows the vaccine appears to be safe and well tolerated. Dr. Camille Sabella is a pediatric infectious disease specialist with Cleveland Clinic Children's. He did not take part in the research, but says vaccinating kids is important for us to achieve herd immunity.
While children really have had very mild problems from COVID and in many instances become infected without having any significant symptoms, they can still transmit the virus and will be important to protect them as well, because keeping them unprotected will still leave virus which is going to be around. And really, for us to really have a very good handle on the pandemic, we really need to protect everybody.
In the weeks ahead, the companies plan to present their data to the FDA for emergency use authorization in ages 12 to 15. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is currently authorized for use by people 16 and older.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Ooh, there's a nice clear sky out there and the wind has calmed down a little bit. I think it's going to be a nice rest of the week. John has our full weather forecast coming right up.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. We've got just so much weather, so much delicious weather. Let's look at it. Fernley, Fallon, Carson City, you're all checking in about 67 degrees. Not too bad. Mid-State 62 and 64 out there in Tonopah. Goldfield, Beatty, you're heating up a little bit at 64, down to 73 actually in Amargosa, Las Vegas. We're into the mid-70s, mid-high 70s, looking pretty good. Out to Death Valley, 87 degrees for a high, 55 for a low tonight. And here in the Paradise of Pahrump, where the grass is green because the lawns are irrigated at 73, big, wonderful, clear sky degrees. We saw as much as 74 degrees today, and those winds were kind to us out of the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour. Bone dry humidity as the sun rose this morning at 6:31 a.m. It'll set this evening just about 7:05, and that picking up another couple of minutes of daylight every day feels pretty good. Low tonight about 45 degrees. Winds coming in out of the east-northeast to 6 miles per hour. A gentle buffeting. It's almost just a little like that. I like that. It's very wonderful. And what do we got coming up this week? Well, let's take a look. Beautiful week, actually, and a beautiful weekend. All the way till about Sunday. Boy, those temperatures just going to be rocking me up into the high 80s, 87 degrees, 86. Winds laying down pretty much under 15 miles per hour until Monday, and then it gets a little bit blustery, and as it gets blowy, the temperature is goey, about 10 degrees lower. 72 degrees is how we'll finish the week, but boy, look at those clear skies and beautiful weekend this weekend to be planning for. I'm looking forward to it. Go poolside. That's how we do. All right, back to the desk. It's Missy, Indiana.
Well, you know, this year we're not going to have the community Easter egg hunt, but they're having the community picnic for Easter, and that's going to happen at Night Communities Coalition, and that is on Saturday, not Sunday. It's a drive-up event, and we'll be telling you more about that as soon as we're going to air an interview with Linda Wright from the group that is putting that on, and that's the Holiday Task Force at 1020 East Wilson there at Night Communities Coalition on Saturday. They'll be having their Easter picnic, and the Easter Bunny is going to be there, I hear.
Yay.
I'm excited about it. Also, that community pool jobs are still open for cashiers. If you want to find out more, go to nyecounty.net. The jobs are still open right now, and you get trained for that job as well, of course. And Night Communities Coalition said that they have a lot of jobs on the wall. They do. If you want to find out more, you can go to Nye Communities Coalition's website or Facebook page at nycc.org. And that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
I'm Missy Kohler. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Good night.